Moon does here. Going to go over all the games happened on Thursday. As I'm recording, there are still 2 games going on. The OKC and Lakers game about to go to overtime. But once I get through all the other games, those 2 games will be finished and I can talk about them. So let's do the first game. The Toronto Raptors scored 137 points versus the Wizards 137 115. Yeah, Wizards been sucking for sure. The Raptors, Norman Powell again, 28.4 assists, 7 rebound, 2 steals. He's been playing like a top 30 player. He's not gonna continue doing this. Just ridiculous efficiency. He did this last year for a little while as well. OG is still out. Once he does come back, we don't know how many minutes Norman Powell is gonna play, but he's been playing quite well. So he should be getting minutes, but not like this. I don't really expect him to. If you can sell him for a top, last week or so, he's like maybe even a top 20 guy, averaging at least 20 points on 50% shooting. This is obviously not gonna continue. If you can get a top 50 guy, if you can get a Mike Conley, if you can get a Julius Randle, you just go ahead and do it. His value is really, in my opinion, very short term. Once OG comes back, he's gonna lose a lot of his minutes. Siakam had a great game, but this year, so far, he hasn't really put up big stats. The thing with him is he doesn't really have one category that stands out. Just give you a little bit of everything. And he is ranked, after this game, he is ranked 47th. I think, he should be a top 50 guy, giving you 20 points, 8 rebounds. It's just the efficiency is 46% from the field. I think there's room to improve. 1.1 steals, 0.6 blocks. Those are not too high. I expect more from Siakam, but he's in that range already, top 50. So that's where he should be drafted, anyways. Aaron Baines played 21. This guy doesn't really put up big fantasy stats. While Chris Boucher, another great game, 24 minutes. This guy doesn't need 30 minutes every night to produce. Over here, 5 for 10, 17, 16. It's scary. 16 rebounds and 2 blocks. Yeah, so this is what Chris Boucher gonna be all season. Gonna be up and down. The minutes not gonna be there. Even this game, he had a great game. Only 25 minutes here. In 25 minutes, he can do enough damage, block you those shots. Most importantly, so you still hold on to him. Again, if you want to sell high on him, you can. If you don't want to deal with this, but in my opinion, I always like to get the guys with the most upside. I don't want a safe guy. I want guys with most upside. Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet both shot the ball really well. Kyle Lowry, 21 points, 2 steals and a block. I'm worried about Kyle Lowry's steal numbers specifically this year. Let's see. After this game, he's ranked 52nd, averaging still only 1.1, and I'm not sure if he can get up to the 1.3, 1.4 level. Maybe he can. He's just getting older and older. And I'm worried about his minutes. Every single year he started off the season really hot and then kind of start falling off a bit. Fred VanVleet, 14 points and 7 assists and nothing else. He's been blocking shots like crazy. He's 15th ranked player this season, averaging 1.8 steals. Yes, he can do that, but 0.7 blocks, that's too high in my opinion. He's not a 0.7 blocks guy. And nobody else is that interested to talk about though. On the Wizards side, Bradley Beal only 24 points, a minus 20, while Westbrook 5 assists and 2 steals for Beal. I still think he's a top 10 guy, no problem. He's not gonna miss games. Russell Westbrook, 5 turnovers is bad, but 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 9 for 20, 45% from the field. That's in Westbrook standard. That's okay. The rebound and assists have been down since the beginning of the season, but you can't really complain given the line he had this game. Again, Westbrook is not for everybody. I still think he has really good value. Because his really bad efficiencies, his ranking is really the 3 categories, efficiency categories are really bad. But I still think he can give you good value and he can turn it around. We don't know, but he does have the upside. So if you want to throw like a top 80 guy at him, at the owner, I would try to do it. Like if you can trade Norman Powell, right, for Westbrook, Yeah, I would do it because it's possible Norman Powell becomes a droppable player 2 weeks from now. Westbrook at the end of the day, he might really hurt you in those categories. He still give you the rebound and assist. Again, it's not for everybody, right? I mean, if you trade Norman Powell for Westbrook, the owner might just take it, and then maybe you can win the league with it. You know, in category leagues, you have to be careful, obviously, but he give you those counting stats. Rui Hachimura, 32 minutes, had a great game, but this man mainly just disappoints. And the counting stats, it's not give you a little bit, but it's not good enough. Davis Bertans, good to see him getting 28 minutes. Still not doing enough at the moment, and I think maybe the Wizards they gotta figure it out. I think once they do, Davis Bertans should get some. Should have good value. He still hit three threes. If you're streaming threes, if you want threes, yeah, sure. And while Alex Len and Robin Lopez, Alex Len played 21 minutes, put up pretty great stat, 11, 5, 1 and 1. If you need a center on your team, he does offer some upside, can block you shots, and he's better than Lopez at the moment, getting more minutes. Even though he just got traded, actually got picked up by the Wizards. So I would stream him if you really need a big man. And centers it's hard to find, centers out there on the waiver wire. Let's go to the next game, the Atlanta Hawks and Dallas Mavericks. Wow, it's a really close game. Mavericks able to win by 1 point. On the Atlanta Hawks side, Kevin Huerter was the guy, picking up because Hunter is going to be out for a long period of time. 23 points is nice, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and still great efficiency. Yeah, you want to roster him until he falls off or not getting the minutes. Clint Capella, this is he had 5 fouls here, sure, but the early season he had a triple double, blocked like 10 shots. I don't think he's a 1.5 block side. He's averaging what? He's 35 ranked right now, averaging 2.3. I think that's gotta calm down. 14 rebounds, maybe that also comes down a little bit. 55% shooting, yes, he can do that. He's a really, really good field goal guy. But I just don't think the 2.3 blocks and 14 rebounds. And I worry about his minutes. They were saying that Gallinari this game here played 30. So is Capella gonna? Although for the season he only averaged 30, but for the period of time when he was going off, he was playing 35 minutes. So I worry about Capella's minute. If you can get a top 35 guy back, but in category leagues, Capella, he give you huge field goal, huge rebound. So, I would trade I would trade for guys like, Michael Porter Jr. Obviously a lot less rebound, but a lot of everything else. A lot of more threes, a lot more, a bit more scoring, a lot more steals. That kind of guy, and way better at free throw line. I think Capella, all the guys on the Atlanta Hawks, I'm not too high on because just once they get their full squad back, actually Hunter's gonna be off for some long time. I don't know. By the time he comes back, it's already probably the playoffs. The fantasy playoff probably starts by that point. Cam Reddish, 26 points. Yeah, this man doesn't do much in 30 minutes. Mainly just a steal streamer. And his field goal is really, really low as well. John Collins also popped off. After this game, he's 33rd. I still think Will him is a top 50 guy. But he just keep proving me wrong, play 30 minutes here. Really big field goal guy. We know that. 13 for 18. 6 for 6 from the free throw line in this game. 33 points really popped off. I would still try to trade him. I still think, Gallinari might eat, although he played 38 minutes here because Capella was in foul trouble. Gallo still played 30. So maybe Collins could be a top 30 guy moving forward, but he struggled pretty hard in the beginning of the season with all the guys healthy. So don't know. But once Bogdanovic comes back, he still needs to get integrated. We'll see what happens then. And then Gallinari, I think he's really worth a look if you need those free throws. The one category is probably the hardest to find on the waiver wire, if you think about it. You can find points a little bit, points, threes, steals, sure, assists, rebound, but free throws that's the hardest category, and he does that. And once you play 30 minutes, he can give you some scoring and threes. So I would, depend on what your team needs. I would take a look at Gallinari. He's old, I understand. He's probably gonna miss a lot of games, but just how many guys that can get you free throws on the waiver wire? Um, that's it on the Atlanta Hawks, and then on the Mavericks side, Luka Doncic a great game, 1 steal and 2 blocks. It's always nice, and great efficiency, 80%, 50% from the field, 20%. Great game from Luka Doncic. While Josh Richardson, 10 points and 5 assists. 5 assists is really nice. He was a -14. He's getting the minutes, so he's worth giving all the stats across the board. So he's worth at least streaming, in my opinion. Porzingis 15 and 4 did not have the best game, no blocks and a steal. Only 19 minutes due to foul trouble. On both sides, all the big men they were in some kind of foul trouble. So I think the Mavericks probably went small to close off the game, and that's why Capella also didn't play that high minutes. Maxi Kleber 25 minutes, didn't block the shot, and he was horrible, -24. So don't worry about him. Dorian Finney-Smith give you the steals and blocks versus this Atlanta Hawks team, 7 rebounds. So if you stream him, he give you the best value out of everybody. And Jalen Brunson, yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. does exactly what Tim Hardaway Jr. does: 16 points and nothing else, 3 threes. It's hard to roster a guy like that because you're just getting a little bit points and threes, but everything else on most nights is just absolutely empty. Interestingly, Jalen Brunson played 30 minutes. This guy is good, I think. He give you those assists. And assists is hard to find. 21 points, 5 assists, but I think it's due to a Porzingis in foul trouble. So the Mavericks decided to play him more minutes, and Wally Collins also got more minutes because of that. It's just one game. I wouldn't worry too much. Let's go to the next team, the Indiana Pacers and Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, this game wasn't really close. They only won by 10. The Nets only won by 10, but it wasn't really close. They really, after the loss to Detroit, Nets decided to play some defense this game. Justin Holiday, he's still you want to rush him. 12 points here for rebound. No defensive stats, but hit 4 threes, and he'll be 0 turnovers, and he'll be better than this in terms of fantasy wise. Real life, it's pretty good. 12 points and 4 threes. Sabonis struggled against the Nets. Maybe DeAndre Jordan, after the argument he had with Harden, he wanted to, try hard and prove to everybody that he still got it defensively. Sabonis is putting up huge stats, obviously 2 steals and block, 4 assists, 18. Really, really strong. As long as him and Brogdon can stay healthy, I'm not really worried about their production. Miles Turner, he's cooling off. He's cooling off. He had 5 personal fouls here, 1 for 4, but 1 block. Can he really sustain the block numbers? We don't know. He still, after this game, he still got 3.5 blocks and 1.2 steals. But guys like that, if 3.5 blocks, if for a week he was only blocking 1 shot, that's huge difference. His value goes from top 10 to top 70, top 80, just like that. So you still hold on to him. It's really too hard to trade guys like that because all the value is basically from the block. Obviously, he also gets you some steals this season. Jeremy Lamb did not have the best game. Everybody kind of sucked on the Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon 5 for 17, horrible efficiency, and his head falling off a cliff, as Max Kellerman would say, falling off a cliff. He is still ranked 29th. Averaging 20 points. I think he can average 20 points with everybody out, but it's just 1.3 steals. I don't think he can continue to do that. And when that happens, he's going to be around the top 50. And I worry about the health. If him and Sabonis. McDermott 20 points. Yeah, TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell probably had the best game here. No steals, but 4 assists, 7 rebounds, and 13 points is really good. McDermott scored points and nothing else. He usually does it in an efficient way. And on the Nets side, DeAndre Jordan played high minutes and played great. But it's not going to be a trend that would continue. A lot of the nights, he'll probably only play 20 minutes. Obviously, great if you stream him. 13 points and 3 blocks is really scary. Bruce Brown took 1 shot, nothing else. Joe Harris, 17 points. That's what you can expect from Joe Harris on most nights. He's not going to give you any assists, steals, and blocks. So a typical Joe Harris game. James Harden and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie had a huge game again. 35 points, a steal, and 2 blocks, and went to free throw line. I was literally just talking about how Kyrie needs to go to the free throw line a little bit more to improve his fantasy value. And he was going to the line 3 point something times this season. He went to the line 17 times. So if he does that, he's a top 3, top 4 player. Although I do expect his efficiency field goal specifically to fall off a little bit. 4 rebound, 8 assists, still in 2 blocks. Yeah, as long as this guy is playing and healthy, he should be good. James Harden did not shoot the board that well. Went to free throw line 10 times as well. Only 5 assists here. No defensive stats after the huge number he put up last game, 5 turnovers. Still okay number from Harden. And Jeff Green coming off the bench did not have the best game. 3 for 11. Their back-to-back is down. So if you want to move on from Jeff Green, sure. Grab another guy. There are 4 days left. This week you can grab a guy, maybe give you 3 games. So yeah, definitely drop Jeff Green, no worries. And then the next game is Charlotte losing to the Grizzlies, 114-130. Devontae Graham is still out. So LaMelo Ball continue to get, this game only 28 minutes, but it doesn't really matter. 17 points, good efficiency, and yeah, that's what LaMelo can do. 3 steals and a block, 5 assists. I think it's just very rare for rookies. This year also we got the Tyrese Halliburton. 2 rookies to be that good. In real life and also in fantasy, those 2 guys are gonna be top 40, top 50. I don't know. Like last year, Donovan Mitchell a couple years ago, he was a top 50, 60 guy, right? Because with he averaged like 20 points and 1.5 steals. And I don't know, like last year, which like the rookie of the year were they this good? I don't think so, and I don't think it was close. And this year we got 2. That's why historically I just don't draft rookies in fantasy, because for one they're not gonna get a lot of minutes right away. So and then for 2 they're gonna be so up and down. Their efficiencies are usually bad, but LaMelo efficiency is bad, but everything else is so great. Terry Rozier 33 points. I don't know when Terry Rozier's shooting gonna fall off. He's still ranked so high. It's crazy. Terry Rozier. He's shooting 48%, averaging close to 20 points and 1.3 steals. Maybe he can do it all season. Just career-wise, he's not that guy, but he's shooting 48%. It's been 20 games and getting you 1.3 steals. Still think he's a sell high, but at this point, it's been 20 games. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna do this all season. Cody Zeller, 23 minutes. Did well enough. You still hold on to him. While PJ Washington has fallen off a cliff as well. 2 for 7. No more defensive stats. I think him playing at the center really benefit him getting those defensive stats specifically. Here with Cody Zeller back, he's a buy low in my opinion. He should be better than this, but it's rough. I don't think he will be. Giving you the stats he was giving you when Cody Zeller was out. Gordon Hayward, 15 points. Yeah, really okay game. He was a minus 12. Okay game from him. He'll be better. And Miles Bridges continue to fill up the stat sheet. So with him playing this well, if Devontae Graham's still out, you want to stream him for sure. He put up big stats, 15 and 10. Really good efficiency and a steal and a block, but he was a minus 23. He's probably the reason why they lost the game. Malik Monk, yeah, not worried too much. On the Grizzlies side, don't know when JJJ is coming back. We'll see. Dylan Brooks, another great game. So when he was shooting like shit, you drop him. Now he's shooting really well, so you go pick him up. In my opinion, the volume is there. If he can shoot 50% every game, he'll give you 20 points every game. Him and I think. Norman Powell is pretty much like, if they're shooting the ball well, they give you 20 points every single game. But if not, there's really nothing else there. Although, gotta give Dylan Brooks credit. This year, he's been averaging 1.3 steals, and give you one here. I think you can pick him up again. But just if the shooting is off, you can't really forget. And they did play the Charlotte Hornets. Kyle Anderson went off in 24 minutes. Just great numbers. It's a sell high for Kyle Anderson. I think he's gonna lose more value when JJ comes back. Valanciunas, after the great game he had against his former team, 12 and 15. No blocks, but 2 steals. That's a surprise. But really strong. Valanciunas should be we know his strength is the rebound, the field goal. The free throw pretty good for big man, some blocks, but he doesn't really give you steals or assists or threes. Desmond Baines started again. If this man gets 25 minutes, 26 minutes, maybe he's worth a look. I just don't know if he can get that every single game. And DeAnthony Melton is out. He might be back the next game. Ja Morant, yeah, he's just not. He doesn't have those explosion games anymore. 15 and 11. I mean, it's a good line, but probably not what people were expecting after he dropped 40 points in the first game of the season. Maybe he's still not 100%. Like his ankles are not still not okay. Still not feeling that well. Grayson Allen 29 minutes. He yeah, he's probably the worst guy in terms of fantasy on this team. Given minutes, Xavier Tillman only 60 minutes. Yeah, you can. It's pretty safe to drop him. Just not enough minutes. While Tyus Jones 21 minutes, three assists and a steal. Yeah, he's being a assist and steals guy streamer. Gorgie Jane got 20 minutes. Put up, not worry about him. Brandon Clark is gonna come back. DeAnthony Melton is gonna come back, and then, those guys gonna lose some minutes and usage. Yeah, this the Grizzlies team is just weird. So many rotational guys. Let's go to the next game. Clippers only beat the Timberwolves by 7. Karl Anthony Towns is back. That's the big news. If your team is still okay with Cat missing, congrats. He's a top 5 guy, and your team should pick up wins from here. Hopefully, just play games. Him and D'Lo, they need to. I understand they're out of the playoffs this year, but they need to just play together, see what happens. Kawhi had his best game. It's really not surprising. PG is out and play against the Timberwolves. Weirdly 5 for 7 from the free throw line, but everything else, 36 points, 2 steals and block. And this year, Kawhi Leonard's plus 25. He's a good fantasy player and good real life player. By far the best on the team. Nicholas Batum filled up the stat sheet. 8 points only, but 10 rebounds, two assists, 2 steals and a block. Really scary stuff. Serge Ibaka only played 20. I don't think Serge Ibaka is a must roster guy. His minutes this game only 20 minutes, right? And his upside is not too high. Zubac, he was playing well, not so much this game. 7 rebounds and only 17 points. Patrick Beverley came back. Once this man starts playing 30 minutes, you can take a look. He's like Nicholas Batum. Not gonna give you a lot of scoring, but as a little point guard, he give you a lot of rebounds and assists and steals, and even a little bit of blocks. Reggie Jackson, 15 points. The one who really went off is Lou Will. With PG out, finally, he had a great game. I was expecting, he was still decent last year with minutes and usage, playing with Harrell off the bench. This year, he's been struggling pretty hard. The fall off is really good to see him scoring 27 points, but I don't think this is going to happen all that often. Marcus Morris, 25 points. Yeah, not interested in him. Well, Luke Kennard, you can really forget about him. Luke Kennard, when he was on Detroit, I thought, Pistons, they might want to develop this guy. Maybe this guy turn into a 20-point scorer, but no, got traded to the Clippers, not doing anything at the moment. On the Timberwolves side, no D'Lo. Anthony Edwards played 30 minutes, didn't do much. One steal is nice, but once D'Lo comes back, I just don't think the usage is going to be that high for him. So you can move on from him. Josh Okogie starts every single game for the Timberwolves, and he never does anything in fantasy. 2 steals here is interesting. A minus 14. Anthony Edwards, surprisingly, was a plus 1. Played 29 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns, first game back. No minute restriction. COVID, no problem. 18 and 10. I expect him to be. Let me just change my camera real quick. I expect Karl Anthony Towns to be a really, really scary fantasy player. He should give you 23, 24 points. Maybe he can even push up to 25. And over 12, 13 rebounds. He's basically a bigger version of Christian Wood, I think. Although Christian Wood is Christian Wood is also a top 15 player, but Cat is a top 5 player. More scoring, probably more rebound, more efficient from the field. Cat just does it all. Even he can even get you the steals and block. He also gets you the steals and blocks and assists. Just a 9 category guy. Malik Beasley with Cat back, I expect him to lose a little bit of usage. But he still took 15 shots here, and obviously D'Lo is out, but he should give you 17, 18 points a game, I think. Didn't shoot the ball well, but went to the free throw like 7 times. And the news came out that initially we were worried that he might get suspended in the middle of the season, but it's after the season, so no worries there. You can keep rostering him. Ricky Rubio started with D'Lo out, played pretty great, 10 assists and 2 steals. If you stream him or you kept him on your team, that's good enough value. Naz Reid is one interesting. Only played 20 minutes, but put up big stats. So it's the Timberwolves, the coach Sanders. He looked at this. Wow, Naz Reid had a great game. Is he gonna play Naz Reid more minutes? We don't know. You keep in Naz Reid, you keep in, see what happens. If he gets 25 minutes a night, he can have some value, right? It seems like he's been scoring a lot of points, which is a surprise. Can give you some steals and block this game. 1 steal and 2 blocks. That's nice. So you roster him, see what happens. Moving forward, Vanderbilt, yeah, 15 minutes. He does offer a lot of defensive upside, but the minutes is too low. Let's go to the next game. Oh yeah, this game is interesting. The New Orleans Pelicans losing to the Bulls, 126. We know who went off on the Bulls side. We'll talk about them later. Brandon Ingram, rough night, bad efficiency, and 5 rebound, 4 assists. I take it. 1 steal, yeah, he been averaging 0.6 steals. Got a steal here, so that's good. Zion Williamson continue to be really really strong. The biggest field goal anchor in the entire league in fantasy, 12 for 18, 29 points. Great from free throw line as well. 1 steal. The rebound is a bit low, and I just want his defensive stats to go up. Steven Adams is close to drop territory in my opinion. 21 minutes. If your team, try to trade him to a team that likes the rebound and pounding free throws, because he can't really. He got a 20 rebound game just a couple weeks ago. But other than that, the value is really not there. Eric Bledsoe, yeah, you drop him. You don't worry about it. 17 minutes here. Lonzo Ball had a great game. Yeah, here we go. His assist has been very low this season. Every not even 5. 7 here, 2 steals. That's good. That's a good Lonzo Ball line. He's been scoring quite a bit, but I don't want him to score. I want him to give me the other stats. Right, Josh Hart, after his breakout game, had an okay game here. 2 steals, 6 rebounds. He can still grab you a lot of rebound. While Nickeil Alexander-Walker only 9 minutes. That's pretty sad. Don't know when he will be freed. It's interesting. Eric Bledsoe only 17, while Nickeil Alexander only 9. The rotation is definitely interesting because JJ Redick got 18. His 18 minutes. Yeah, not interested in him. On the Bulls side, Zach LaVine 46 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. Crazy efficiency. I think. I know Zach LaVine is good. After this game, he's ranked 16. If I can trade Zach LaVine for Anthony Davis, I would do it. If I can trade, his weakness in fantasy mainly is just the turnover, such high turnover rate, and he's making 3.5 threes a game. I think that's got to come down. Really, he's ranked so high. Obviously, he's scoring a lot of points, hitting a lot of threes. But if you look at his other stats, right, he's not a big rebound guy. He's not a big assist guy. He's not a big steals guy, although steals is decent, and he's not a big blocks guy. So mainly, majority of his value is coming from his points and efficiency. And if the efficiency fall off, his points gonna dip a little bit, and he still turns the ball over a lot. So his value, a lot of the value is coming from the high efficiency. I think it's, you gotta sell high. He's playing so well lately. I think you just have to sell high. If you can sell 80, I just close my eyes and do it. Seriously, if the 80 owner is willing to do it. Even Christian Wood, he's hurt, so you can wait for a week or two to throw an offer at the Wood owner. Maybe the Wood owner is worried that hey, Wood might be out for longer. And when he does come back, he's not going to be the same Wood. I just don't think Zach LaVine is a top 15 player. Maybe a top 20, top 25, top 20, 25 guy. I still expect his efficiency to fall off. Not like this. And Kobe White is another guy that also went off. So good to see Kobe White finally had a great game. He took 17 threes. What was that? Only took 20 shots and 17 of them were threes. 30 points, only went to the line twice. No defensive stats. Let's see. You can't really sell. You can sell high on Kobe White. I don't know anybody in your league is gonna buy him just after one game. So just wait for a week. If he still plays like this, you can sell high if you want. The thing with Kobe White is also just no defensive. No, no. Zach LaVine has defensive, but the thing with Kobe White is no defensive stats at all. So if he's not shooting the ball well, he does give you a little bit of assist and rebound. That's when it becomes rough. But regardless, a great game. But he was a -2 while Zach LaVine was a +20. Daniel Gafford 3 blocks. Yeah, if you need but the man is getting such low minutes. But if you need blocks and blocks only, you can stream him. Patrick Williams had another great game. He's you got roster him. He's playing too well, filling up the stat sheet, and with all the injuries, he's got the minutes right. Denzel Valentine 23 minutes. Don't really like him. I like Thaddeus Young though. Really, really like Thaddeus Young. 8 points. That's fine. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Efficient from the field. That's what Thaddeus Young give you. Just nice all-around stats. I mean, he give you a lot of steals specifically. Garrett Temple be getting huge minutes, but he's not a Thaddeus Young. Like he can give you a lot of steals. It's just a little bit of everything. But I like not as good as Thaddeus Young. Satoransky with Kobe White going off like this, he's not gonna get a lot of minutes. You only stream him for assists, really. Let's go to the next game. The Cleveland. Yeah, after the hot start, Cleveland has been playing really, really bad. Maybe it's because they are starting Jarrett Allen and Andre Drummond. Oh, it's really rough for Andre Drummond. He played 16 minutes. This is his worst game of the season so far. He is like a Westbrook. He's not for everybody. His free throw is really, really bad, and as a big man, his field goal is also bad. He turns the ball over way too much, and now he's not even getting the minutes. I would buy low on him, but when I say buy low, it's you gotta go lower. Like I would trade Norman Powell for him. If the owner look at the Norman Powell stat, game logs, like this is a guy. It's like a DeAndre Hunter, I think Norman Powell. I would just trade Norman Powell for Andre Drummond if your team fits the build, right? If you don't worry about the free throw, because Andre Drummond is not gonna play 60 minutes. I mean, at worst, he's probably gonna play 25 minutes. He's still starting, right? He should still play 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, he put up big stats, and some nights you play 35 and just pop off completely. So wait for a few games. If Andre Drummond still played this bad, and the owner, try to make a trade. But I don't think Andre Drummond is gonna be the same guy before Jarrett Allen get there. Jarrett Allen at the same time, great. 26 minutes. He's starting alongside Andre Drummond. 18 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, he can do that. I mean, even more blocks. So really good to see him. Isaac Okoro play 30 minutes every game, doesn't do anything. While the two guards on the Cleveland also struggled. Darius Garland, 7, 5, and 1 steal. Only took 6 shots. That's surprising. Colin Sexton got 8 assists. That's good, and a steal, right? Can't really complain about that. But he just 1 for 9. Yeah, I mean collectively as a team, they all got destroyed. Taurean Prince is another guy that I'm interested in streaming, with Kevin Love and Larry Nance Jr. still out. He gave you 6 rebounds, a steal, and a block. That's good enough, and 3 threes. So it's multi-category. He give you threes, he give you steals, he give you blocks, and give you a rebound. So I like Taurean Prince for streaming purposes. And the Denver Nuggets side, nobody played that high, and not the big news. It's really good to see Michael Porter Jr. playing like this. He can do this. He does have the offensive skill to average close to 20 points on this team, on this Denver team, I believe. Jokic is more than happy to spread the ball around. He's perfectly okay just to, hey, you take the shot here. He had 12 assists here. He doesn't like to take 20 shots every single game. He likes to get everybody involved. So Denver need to figure out. They're really struggling this season. Obviously, they blew the Cavs out, but look at this line: 19 points, 5 rebounds, efficient from the field, free throw. Yeah, he missed 1. That's okay. Still at 75%, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Right? He can do that. He can probably grab you more rebound as well. So really, really strong. If you want to buy low, Michael Porter Jr., if the owner is worried that Michael Porter Jr.'s role on this team is not secure enough moving forward, you can buy him a top 60, 70 guy. You can buy him although like his ranking so far, as bad as he played, as little minutes as he played, he's still ranked 30th after this game. So I just don't know if you can really battle him if the owner look at the category rankings. But either way, really, really great game from Michael Porter Jr. Really good to see. And he was a plus 28. Well, everybody played well, plus minus. Jokic, easy work. Not much to talk about. I still see him as a top two, top one, top two guy in fantasy. Will Barton had a great game shooting the basketball, but nothing else. Him and Paul Millsap, those two guys. Paul Millsap also went off against the Cleveland. Two steals in a block. He's not gonna do this every game. But those two guys, it's you just stream both of them, and you can also stream Monty Morris. Morris here, only 20 minutes, 12 and 4 assists. That's really a Monty Morris line. Jamal Murray, he's really bad this year, and I just don't think he's gonna be a top 50, 60 player. The thing with him is even the scoring volume is not there. He doesn't get a lot of steals. He doesn't get a lot of assists. So the only value is points, and he doesn't do it at that and like a high clip. He is ranked 99th. I mean, he should be better than 99th, but I just don't think he will be close to top 50. Maybe a top 70 or 80 guy, in my opinion. The guys like this just had huge bubble performances, and you drafting high in fantasy, and he doesn't do anything. He should never get drafted in the second round, in my opinion, because even if he's averaging 25 points, even if he can score 25 points a game, he's not going to be a top 20 or top 25 player because no defense, no assist. Let's move on to the next game. Oh, this game finished. Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. All the games finished. Yeah, wow. Milwaukee lost by 1 point. Suns playing really well this season. Chris Paul getting there really helps. He's a winner. Chris Middleton finally did not shoot 60%, but with Jrue Holiday out, look at the assist, right? So in the short term, he should get a boost, mainly at the assist category. Everything else looks fine. We only missed his 2 free throws from the line. 3 turnovers and 5 personal fouls. Giannis went off 47 points and took 21 free throws. Giannis's ranking is always going to be like a little bit skewed because he's such a bad free throw shooter. He's ranked 53rd, shooting 60% from the free throw line on such high volume. But if you don't look at the free throw, he's a top 5 guy. Give you pretty much everything, even give you 1.2 threes. I think his steal numbers is quite low. You have to nitpick here. The steal number is only averaging 1 steal and 1.3 blocks. A couple years ago when obviously he has to focus on offense a lot more, so that makes sense. But just want to see those defensive numbers to go up a little bit. 47 points here is really scary. 11 and 5. But they lost the game. A low pass, no blocks here, so that's disappointing. Dante DiVincenzo, you want to pick him up in the short term. Jrue Holiday is going to be out, so I think he might get a few more assists here and there, but mainly it's the steals. Can he get the steals? He got 2 here, so that's good enough. Bobby Portis played 20 minutes. This man, very, very consistent. 20 minutes, he gave you 12 points and 8 rebounds. He did that and good efficiency. And some nights he adds a little bit of everything. A steal here, you take it. And on the Phoenix Suns side, Chris Paul came back. Great game from Chris Paul. And the steals numbers are back. Look at that. Collectively, I believe as a team, Phoenix Suns, they're only averaging 6 steals a game, which is really, really low. Right? Even here, they got 7 here. But Chris Paul is averaging, like, at this point, he's probably averaging, let me see. He's averaging 1.2 steals already. So a couple more games like this, he can get up to 1.5. I think Paul is a sell high, in my opinion. He's ranked 38th, sure, per game basis, but I worry a little bit about his health, and a lot of the, couple games were without Devin Booker, where that's why he went off. I don't think he'll average 28. He's probably gonna average 15, 16 points, but the assists should be good, 7, 8, good steals and efficient. I think Chris Paul at this point probably a sell high because he really went off. A sell high meaning like if he can get guys in the top 35 range. Depends on what you need. I think Shea, I mean, I would trade Chris Paul for Shea. Shea has been underperforming quite a bit. I think Shea has higher upside than Chris Paul. I would trade him for Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, they give very different stats. Chris Paul give a lot of assists, while Michael Porter Jr. doesn't. And he and Malcolm Brogdon, I think they're both gonna fall off quite a bit here. But on a per game basis, I think Chris Paul is better than Malcolm Brogdon, so I wouldn't trade him for that. Um, yeah, Devin Booker. Yeah, as soon as Chris Paul comes back, he's not getting the assist. 3 assists here, 30 points. Yeah, that's fine. But no assists, low steals. He's ranked 98th. Really, really disappointing. For Devin Booker, the assists and the steals are not there. It's just really the scoring it comes down to. DeAndre Ayton, 17 and 7, nothing else. Another bust. It's everybody on the Suns team have been disappointed. I mean, I guess Chris Paul is living up to his draft position. Mikal Bridges shot the ball incredibly well, but still no steals, 0 steals again. Maybe his steals never coming back this season. It's been 20 plus games. He's a good defender, but just no steals. What is going on? Each one more 18 minutes. Chris Paul come back. You're not interested in any of those guys. Jay Crowder played 26 minutes, grabbed you 14 rebounds, but I'm not interested in him at all. And let's talk about last game of the night. It's the OKC. And I don't know what's got into the OKC. I understand AD did not play, but this is back-to-back overtime games, if I remember correctly. And OKC pretty much they have nobody. They have nobody. Shea was out. Maladon was out. They have nobody. Al Horford. They got Al Horford. This is sell high for Al Horford for sure. I'm not even sure he's gonna have any value as we move forward, right? So I would just trade him for pretty much after this game. His ranking is gotta be super scary. 54th, right? I would trade him for Mitchell Robinson. I would trade him for Sabonis. I would trade him for Donovan Mitchell. To pretty much everybody on this list, because I just think once we get to the end of the season, he's not gonna have any value. This is just me. In the short term, yeah, everybody out. Kendrick Williams, this is the guy. I think because he gets a lot of stocks, and with everybody out, you want to roster him or stream him. He really went off against the Lakers, who should be a pretty good defensive team. 3 steals, 24 points. Derrick Bazley struggled, sure. 1 block, 7 rebound. He still have the upside, but I'm okay with you dropping him because his percentages are really rough. And at the moment, he's not really giving you a lot of defensive stats. Lou Dort played 41 minutes, filled up the stat sheet, but usually he doesn't really give you those steals or blocks. He's a good defender, but he doesn't give you those. And nothing else is, he's really contributing in any category. Diallo, a double-double, 5 assists, 2 blocks. Yeah, you stream him for sure until people come back on this team. And on the Lakers, LeBron, he just does this every game. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. No worries there. Kyle Kuzma got a minute boost with AD out. 9 rebounds is nice, but still not a good line, but not great. Right? You're supposed to take the opportunity with AD out, supposed to show what you got, Kyle Kuzma. But, 15 and 9, it's okay, you take it. Marcus Gasol played 20 minutes, block you 2 blocks, yeah. There'll be people in your league probably streaming Marcus Gasol, and we know what they want. They just want blocks. He's a pretty good blocks guy in 20 minutes. KCP, not so much. Daniel Schroeder, huge minutes. You can't try to sell this guy. His numbers might look good on the surface. Oh, wow. Averaging 15 points. Oh, wow. Almost 5 assists. But everything else is negative. So just be careful. Guys like Robert Williams, right? Even though he scored like 0 points, but the efficiency, he doesn't really hurt you. And he really helps you in turnover. And big blocks guy and steal. So the rankings between him and Dennis Schroeder is like guys like that. You look at him, oh wow, just like no points, a little bit rebound, no assists. How is he ranked so high? Because in those efficient categories, he's really, really good. 0 turnovers. That's huge. Almost 0 turnovers. Montrezl Harrell also had a great game. 33 minutes, 8 for 10. Harrell, another guy that could be pretty frustrating to own. He's a really big field goal anchor. So you don't At this point, you're not gonna find. It's like a Gallinari, really good free throw guy. Can you really drop him? If you drop him, you're not gonna find that guy on the waiver wire again. And performances like this, it's just you just try to sell high. Dropping him is kind of you can't really live with yourself because someone else is gonna pick up. Someone else is gonna pick up and help the team's field goal. That's it for all the games. I'll see you guys later.